So a couple of weeks ago, it was a real privilege to take part in an incredibly exciting conference up in Aberdeen. A whole group of churches and organisations came together to put on a conference called Thrive. And what was great about this conference was it was aimed at Christians in the workplace, Christians who are in business, Christians who are in the world of work, which is most people, actually, outside the walls of the church. And the conference is really aimed to help them think through how they can be more effective in being Christians in the workplace, and particularly being more public about their faith. And I had the opportunity to do a main stage session at that conference called How to Talk About Your Faith at Work Without Getting Fired, and complete with a PowerPoint slide of Alan Sugar. And it was really interesting, actually, because I think so many Christians are afraid of talking about their faith at work. I opened actually by talking about my days back in the world of secular employment. My first job was for a major London teaching hospital, and I remember being very much a private Christian there. I shared the story that actually on my last day at work there, the leaving do they threw from me, I discovered that one of my colleagues, who was like 2 offices down the corridor from me, was also a committed Christian. But she'd been so secret about her faith, I'd been so secret about my faith. We'd worked together for 5.5 years and never figured out the other one was a Christian. And sort of starting from that, and sort of a lot of nods in the audience, really just tried to equip people there with some really practical tools for how you can share your faith at work, how you can have conversations about the gospel that actually go places, that don't get you in trouble, that don't get you shouted at, that don't get you labelled with all kinds of horrible adjectives. Because I think so many people in our culture are asking spiritual questions, actually. And if you can learn to listen, if you can learn to engage well, if you can learn to ask really good questions. One of the things I talked about was that as Christians we're very fond of wanting to talk, but actually it's interesting, we look at the Gospels, one of Jesus' primary evangelistic methodologies was he asked good questions. And so we covered that in the seminar as well, and the feedback was tremendous. Got so much good feedback afterwards. People telling me they'd already begun to put the stuff into practice in their workplaces the next week. And in fact, that seminar that I taught there at the Thrive conference, we've now taught that in hundreds of churches and youth groups and conferences around the world. And so if you're interested, if you're watching this, perhaps you're a pastor or a church leader and thinking, I'd love to get some really practical tools into the hands of my my church, my congregation, so the people there who are in the workplace Monday through Friday would be much more confident about their faith and how to share it, do get in touch with us at Solas, because we do 2 things, of course, at Solas. We love actually doing evangelism and actually engaging people who are not Christians, but then the other thing we love is getting Christians fired up, confident and equipped with really good tools so they too can go and tell the incredible message of Jesus to their friends and their colleagues and their neighbours.